a plan on two fronts. While one group flies into space in an attempt to destroy Monster Reborn's data, thus making the card destroyed/useless, another plan unfolds, with Udius dueling Yuumu in Yuhi's stead and doing everything he can to prevent her from using said card. But a crazy twist happens that not many could have predicted. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton. Today we're talking all things episode 126 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush anime series. An episode that should have seen Yuumu versus Yuhi once again, but instead Udius steps in to challenge the Dark Meister and unleashes his plan. So what was that plan? Well, the best way to avoid Yuumu from using Monster Reborn is to destroy it, or force your opponent to discard it, thus making it so that they never get a chance to use it. And we have this somewhat working within the episode, as Udius does cause Yuumu to discard and or destroy this card quite a few times. But this does fail ultimately, as she's able to recycle Monster Reborn from her graveyard to her field, back into her deck, all sorts of different combinations. So seeing how this fails, Udius then resorts to using the card exchange. This causes you to swap one card from your hand with a card from your opponent's hand. So Yuumu does have to take Transic Rynomu, as Udius only has that one card. But now Udius has Monster Reborn, and what a twist it was seeing him actually using it with that evil glint in his eye as he played it. But why use this card? Well, my guess has got something to do with Kawaii. As yes, it seemed like he was turning over a new leaf and being more light than dark, but there's always been this kind of feeling of admiration and the connection to himself, i.e. Kawaii, and the creator, aka Otis. So now with all of this talk about people wanting to become Otis, it's possible that Kawaii himself also wants to gain the power to recreate his race and destroy those limited lifespans that the creator once placed on the Vulgarians. Maybe that plot thread arises once more. So if Kawaii was to become Otis, then we would get an Otis that doesn't care about preserving the already predetermined future that we see in Sevens, but instead one that creates a world or a future where Vulgarians are still alive and maybe ruling the galaxy. So if this does come to fruition, it could be quite scary. And we could see that hint of a different future occur, like we saw when Yuga went back to the present. Like, it looked a bit different than what we knew Sevens to be. Seeing the Dark Men cheering for Yuumu and happy that she's about to achieve her goal of becoming Otis was very sweet and wholesome. It does add to their quirkiness and shows us that they don't really know what it means for the Dark Meister to become Otis, however. As from my perspective, once Yuumu becomes Otis, she'll no longer need the Dark Matter Empire, making them go their separate ways or just vanishing. Which would be sad, but I do kind of like the idea of the Dark Men sticking around and becoming the new Oko girls. But that theory that I had a while back was already disproven rather quickly once I put it out there, so not likely. Now, while on the topic of the Dark Men, it was really cool seeing Zuijo smiling and happy when Udius was outsmarting Yuumu and when he obtained Monster Reborn. This tells me that Zuijo wasn't fully on board with the Dark Meister's plan, and maybe we know Zuijo is quite perceptive. So maybe he has seen some sort of shift in Yuumu in terms of her resolve or her commitment to this goal/action. So maybe deep down he's wanting this plan to fail. And maybe he started to like the Dark Men and the Dark Matter Empire, finding a new home for himself, and is kind of thinking that, well, once an Otis is created, the Dark Meister disappears, what's next for the Dark Matter Empire? So yeah, I do think that's part of it, but also I do think that now Zuijo has spent more time with the twins, he's grown a bit more attached to them. So now, let's move on and talk about Yuumu. We get to see a wide range of expressions from her within this episode. Seeing her embarrassed at the whole atmosphere of the event being slightly off because of the goofy dark men, turning it into a celebrational party, with Ring announcing this was kind of sweet. We also get to see her getting more and more annoyed because Julius keeps making her discard or destroy Monster Reborn, thus thwarting or delaying her plan. Seeing her happy and excited when she draws it though was so much more pleasing. The positive emotions for Yuumu are always fantastic to see. I mean, the negative ones are too, but it's always better to be on the side of positivity. But seeing how disappointed in not having Yuhi as her final opponent was rather sad, as you could tell that she had hoped for this since she began her journey. And it shows that she does care about Yuhi and still holds that small piece of hesitation, as she's sad and hurting too. Which is why she sees that which is why she's able to understand Yuhi's struggles when it comes to Yuhi not being able to have the courage or the resolve to duel her. And she understands this and respects this, and that's why she takes up Julius as her opponent instead. And while on the note of Yuhi not really having the resolve or the courage, it was dampening to see Yuhi looking so down and out of character. But at the same time, it's very understandable because he's about to lose his sister. And it could be him that causes it, if he was to have dueled. I'm also loving how we're keeping the other group in action, as they're using their powers to try and disable Monster Reborn, effectively destroying it while attacking the data inside of the Rush robot. Seeing Phaser turn into a dragon and restricting the robot as it tries to defend itself was cool, as we often forget that he can transform. Seeing the dinosaur return and being useful with the models tricking the drones and Yuna into thinking that everyone was just still working their happy jobs. That was funny. And seeing everyone using the powers and the courage to execute this plan, all with the same goal of destroying said Monster Reborn and saving their friend. I also liked how Manabu questions Asaka, asking why she didn't just destroy the card after she knows what Yuga wanted at the end of Season 2. And this whole plan of destroying it this way does align with Yuga's goals and plans from that season. So I do like that connection. It was surprising seeing Yuna so happy and relaxed, but it's good that she's not dumb and knows that the people are working for her but don't respect or trust them, as they're only doing it out of obligation. And she knows that they are probably planning something, but she's trying to outsmart them. But here's the biggest mistake. She trusted Dovrap, or this season's equivalent to Dovrap, where the bird itself was in on the plan that the other group had. Seeing her embarrassed at the betrayal was so cute and wholesome though. That expression on her face was just adorable. But I wouldn't be surprised if she somehow manages to visit the moon as well in an effort to thwart their plans. It would be nice to see her taking action again instead of just sitting at her computer screen, but we'll have to wait and see. So with all that being said, I can't wait to see how the next episode plays out, and why did Julius use Monster Reborn, and what's happening on the moon. Only time will tell, so let's hop into the next episode and see what goes on. I'm happy to hear your thoughts on this particular episode, and other than that though, hope you've enjoyed this review. Hit like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Alligator, matane. Goodbye.